Hey everybody, my name is Tom Tullis. This is the Tomb of 3D Printed Horrors, and today we're going to take a look at our new 3D printable Starship combat game, Battlefront Valkyrie. And today we're going to take a look at how to assemble your Battlefront Valkyrie starships. Now, for those of you that don't know, Battlefront Valkyrie is a new 3D printable war game that we released about a month ago. This is our second 3D printable war game. Our first was about 7 years ago, give or take, and that was World War Tesla. Battlefront Valkyrie is a 3D printable Starship combat game. The starter set comes with everything you need, 2 complete fleets, all of the tokens, counters, everything you need to play is either 2D or 3D printable and included in that starter set. There's nothing else to buy. The only thing we don't include in it is dice, and you do need some D6s for that, but aside from that, everything else is included in that core game. So let's take a look at how you're going to build your ships. So to get started, the ship base has a graphic that goes on it that shows the 4 shield arcs and 4 firing arcs. So I like printing these on photo paper on an inkjet printer. And then what you can do is you can use an inexpensive circle cutter, and I'll link this. You can get this on Amazon for not much money. I think it was like $8 or $9. And it's adjustable. You can cut different size circles, and you can just use it to cut out your base graphics like this here. I know you're supposed to spin the cutter. I think it's easier just to spin the paper, and it just works better for me, but it makes a nice clean cut. You can then readjust it to do the smaller cut in the middle. Once you get that done, speed this up a little bit. And I really like using a Sharpie marker here. It just makes it look just professional, like something you would have bought in the hobby shop that was pre-made, pre-manufactured. And just use a Sharpie to color that edge. And always do it from the rear side there. That way if you slip, it just marks up the rear side of it. It doesn't ruin your print. But just color those edges in black, and it just makes it look a lot nicer when it's glued in place on the ship base. Again, this is just me. You don't have to do this, but it just makes it look a lot more professional. Next up, you're going to want to glue this onto the 3D printed base, and you can print your bases whatever color filament you have. I like using black simply because everything blends then, and it looks really nice on a Starfield playmat. Oh, by the way, I found a great one on Amazon. It's not much money. I'll link that in the video description too, but it's a really nice playmat, perfect size for playing Battlefront Valkyrie. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just applying just rubber cement. I'm just using a sponge swab. You can use whatever you want. And don't worry about getting this too even, because I'm going to show you a little trick here for spreading the glue out. Once you push that graphic in place, spin it. Don't spin the 3D printed base, just spin the print. And what that does is it distributes the rubber cement around under it really nice and evenly. So when you're done with that, you're just going to set that aside. And now we're going to look at how to assemble a 3D printed ship. So to start with here, some of the ships require precise alignment for parts, and it'd be really tough to do if you were just eyeballing it like this engine here. It could be twisted off center, too far forward, too far back. So the solution we came up with is a 3D printed jig. And so all you're going to do is push your main starship section into the jig at the base. Everything aligns. It can only fit in one way. And then it's got a section for the engine. And again, it aligns it so that it can only be glued in one position, and it just makes assemblies of these ships goes really, really fast using these jigs. So once you've got the main starship body put into the jig, you're going to add a little glue just to where that engine goes, and just put a small drop, and then we'll spread it around. And I'll link this glue in there. I used to use Gorilla Glue a lot, but it was really expensive. I found this other super glue on Amazon, and it works phenomenally well, and it's a lot cheaper than Gorilla Glue. So I'll link that too in the video description. But just spread that around with a toothpick or something. and then place the engine in that slot area for it. The only thing you have to do on your own is make sure it's pushed clear to the back up against that backstop, and that will ensure it's aligned properly. So once you've done that, just set it aside to dry. After, however long, I'd let this go a couple hours, take it out, flip it over, and glue the ship bottom in place. Every ship will have one of these. It glues into a small recess, and that's what's going to sit on the post on your base. So once that is done, next up, get out the base. That should be dry now. You can pressure fit the post in. You don't have to glue these, but if it is a little loose, you can always put a little drop of rubber cement on it, and that'll give it a friction fit. The ship just fits on the top, and that's it. That's all you've got to do. These are really inexpensive to print on your home 3D printer, and it gives you a really fun war game that you can do for not a lot of money. We've got several expansion sets out at this point for Battlefront Valkyrie. The second one just released this week. 3 and 4 are coming. I think 3 comes out right around the end of the year, and 4 will be out around the end of January. These give additional ships for your fleets, new scenarios to play and such. So if you like what you see here, why don't you go check it out. I do have the game linked in the video description. And for a very limited time, I am extending our Cyber Monday sale. You can get it for 40% off. So again, thanks for watching. Please click that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much.